Alright boys, we are finally back with another video. The semester is over for me, so I can finally get back to making some videos, and I know that I wasn't very consistent, so we probably have a lot of absent viewers, which is totally okay, but I'm going to try to be a little bit more consistent from here on out. So we did get a comment in the last video from Penzielt, who wanted to do a bit of a roster review, so I can do that for you guys real quick. And don't you guys worry, the franchise mode is going to be starting up here in the next couple of days. It's just that EA's game was broken, they didn't have the coaches in, then they put them in, and then the whole rest of the game shut down, and you couldn't sign players, and there was a whole bunch of nonsense going on. So, you always have to wait until December when they actually roll out the real game for it to start, which is a completely different conversation. But either way, let's get to the rosters here. We start with Anaheim, who's got Troy Terry as their best player. Mason McTavish is the second best. Personally, I would say it's probably Frank Vetrano, and Ryan Strome at an 85 overall. I'm not so sure about it, but yeah, so this video, we're just going to go through the overalls. I'll give you my take on each team and kind of where they are in the season and where I think their overalls should be. These guys look to have super inflated overalls. Alex Killorn is not an 83. Cutter Gauthier at an 81 is totally okay. Zellweger at an 81 is fine. These guys are all fine, but their overalls are really inflated. Like Killorn, Gudas, Fabry, those guys are all way higher than they should be. Cam Fowler's probably a bit higher than he should be. Ryan Strome's definitely higher than he should be. So Anaheim, a bit of inflated overalls for sure. Looking at Boston now, David Pastrnak, Charlie McAvoy, Brad Marchand. Okay, Boston's a team that, they're trying to still be in that playoff contention. Hampus Lindholm at 87. Okay, yeah, sure. Lindholm at 85, I think that's a bit too much. Zaka at 85, I think that's a bit too much. Geeky at 83, I think is a bit too much. Same thing with Frederick. Matthew Poitras at 81. Is he playing in the NHL this year? I don't even know, man, which is pretty crazy. But all these other guys, this seems totally fine. Mason Lohrei, maybe you throw him up there to like 82, 83 overall. But other than that, Boston seems okay. Moving on to Buffalo now, Rasmus Dahlin. These guys are struggling right now the past couple of days here. Tage Thompson at 88, Alex Tuch at 87. That seems a little bit high for Alex Tuch. 87 for Bolden Byram seems pretty dang high. Dylan Cousins, Jason Peterka, Jack Quinn at 83. He's really struggling this year. Jason Zucker, I'd probably drop him to like 80 overall. Connor Clifton, I'd probably drop to like 80 overall. And the rest of the guys, they seem okay. Maybe, a couple of overalls here or there. But other than that, they seem pretty okay. And then we'll check their goalies. I forgot to check goalies, man. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, not an 85 overall. More like an 82 overall. Probably Devin Levi, same type of thing. I'd probably drop him to like 80. He's not even playing in the NHL right now as of recording this video. Jeremy Swayman, 89. That makes sense. Jonas Korpisalo at 83. Sure. And then Anaheim, give Lucas Dostal his flowers, man. This guy was the statistical best goalie in the NHL at the start of the year. I'm not sure if he's still up there, but he has crazy goal save above expected. He's playing way better than John Gibson. Give him the 85. Give John Gibson like an 82, and then drop James Reimer to like whatever, 80 or something like that. But Lucas Dostal, give this man higher overall. Holy smokes. We move on to Calgary now, and we have Rasmus Anderson. That seems fine. Mackenzie Weegar seems okay. Kadri, Sharon Govich, and Huberdeau, man, come on. What a disappointment after he left Alexander Barkov. Kuzmenko, 85 seems a little bit high. Anybody else here who seems like kind of outrageous? No, Connor Zary. Maybe throw Connor Zary up there like 83 or so. And then everybody else seems okay, I guess. Looking at goalies, who they've got, Dustin Wolf and Dan Vladar. Sure, we keep these guys around 81. And Dustin Wolf's 6 feet tall, so he's one of the shorter goalies in the league. Carolina now. This team has the chance to be a juggernaut in the East, as they always do, and their overalls look okay. I would give Martin Necas a bit higher overall. Get him up to like 89. This guy's playing like a monster. Seth Jarvis, 87 seems fine. That seems a little high for Brent Burns, 86. Probably drop to like 84. Sean Walker, maybe drop him to like 82. Jordan Staal at 83 seems about right. Jesperi Kotkaniemi, maybe drop him to like 81. Will Carrier, sure, whatever. Jack Roslovic, yeah, I mean, these guys are all pretty. They're a very deep team, are the Carolina Hurricanes, and Jackson Blake is there. If you want to have him in the NHL like he is in the real world, throw him up there to like an 78 overall or something like that. Back in the net, Frederik Andersen and Pyotr Kochetkov makes sense to me. I'd maybe have them the same overall. It's kind of a 1A, 1B situation, at least from my perspective as an outsider into this organization. So, maybe both like at 87 to split the difference there. But to each their own. Looking at Chicago now, Connor Bedard at 88. Seth Jones is not an 87 overall. Teuvo Teravainen is not an 86 overall. He's not producing at all on this team. They had him up with Connor Bedard at the start of the year. That didn't work. They've dropped into the third line. That hasn't worked for him. Taylor Hall at an 85. That seems maybe even a little high for him. Tyler Bertuzzi at 84 seems a bit high. Philip Kurashev at 84. He's had some okay games. He had good chemistry with Bedard last year, and then for some reason Luke Richardson decided to not play them together at all this year until like he got fired. So that's nice to see for all those Chicago fans. The rest of the team looks fine. I mean, again, Foligno a bit too high. Jason Dickinson maybe like 81. But all these guys, just very small changes to the Blackhawks, like drop everybody by like 1 or 2, except for Seth Jones. Get Seth Jones out of here, man. 87 overall. Are you kidding me? He's like an 84 overall probably. But to each their own. And then goalies, they've got Peter Mrazek, Laurent Brossoit, and Arvid Soderblom. That seems fine to me. Going to Colorado now. These guys have firepower, but not that much depth. Rantanen, Devon Taves, Valeri Nichushkin at 86 seems okay. Casey Middlestad at 86 seems a little bit high. I watched quite a few Avs games. They're my Western Conference team. And no, I'm not a bandwagon before you guys start saying it. I never bandwagon. I don't know what you guys are talking about. So Middlestad seems a little high at 86. He has some moments, but yeah, I'm not so sure about it. Same thing with Sam Girard, maybe like 84. Landeskog, you can decide whether you think he's going to come back or not. If you don't think he's going to come back, you can drop his overall to like 70, throw him in free agency. But if you want to hold out hope, then keep him at 85. Ross Colton, I'd probably drop him to like 83 overall, 82 overall. Same thing with Josh Manson. Jonathan Drouin, if this guy can stay healthy, he might have a chance to be an 84 overall. Miles Wood, I'd probably put at like 82. But Lehkonen, man, get Lehkonen at like an 85. So I would say Lehkonen is better than Colton and Drouin for sure, and Miles Wood. But then Oliver Shillington, get this guy to like 78, 79 overall. Logan O'Connor is fine. All these other guys are pretty fine. Sam Malinski, I think of Sam Malinski as like, this first evolution stage of Cale Makar. I feel like he's a pretty decent offensive player. He's fast. He can get some points every once in a while, but he's also a little bit unrecognizable right now. He's a smaller guy, so he's got to be a bit more offensive. So I think he's like the Bulbasaur to Cale Makar's Venusaur, if any of you guys are Pokemon fans out there. All right, goalies now, Georgiev. Oh my God, this guy's like an 80 overall, maybe. And now, of course, their goalies, they don't even have any of these 3 goalies, so I'm probably going to have to change that for when I start the franchise mode. They, of course, have Mackenzie Blackwood and Scott Wedgwood as their goaltenders, whereas Georgiev went to San Jose. Eustace Anunen, I think, went to St. Louis, or I don't even remember where he went. And then Kakinen, I don't know where he is either. But yeah, these goalies, Georgiev's like an 80. Anunen can stay as an 80, I suppose. Their goalie situation was just absolute shambles. All right, looking at Columbus, they look okay here. The overall seemed fine for the most part. Monahan at 84. Yeah, I think this is a pretty fair overalls here. They're not a great team, but they don't have like, they're not great, but they don't have that all-star or that superstar. Zach Werenski's their best player by far. And then after that, maybe Severson drops a little bit. Same thing with Provorov, but their overalls look pretty okay. And then Elvis Merzlikins at 83. That seems okay as well. Columbus, you did a good job with Columbus EA, I think, for the most part. In Dallas, we have Miro Heiskanen. Jason Robertson is such a scam star. This guy is not a 90-plus player. I'm sorry. I dropped him to like 88. I think Rupe Hintz is better than him. Wyatt Johnston has not been playing like an 87 overall. Thomas Harley hasn't really been playing as an 87 overall, but Duchesne's been playing good. And Ben and Sagan have been okay for the most part. I think Sagan's injured right now, but I'm not entirely sure. Esa Lindell, 86 seems a bit high, but he's a defensive guy, so he's not going to get all those points. But these lines look okay. Matt Dumba, though, I'd probably drop to like 82, 81 overall. But other than that, it looks pretty good. Jason Robertson, though, get his overall down. Ottinger at 90, that makes sense to me. He's one of the best goalies in the league. Detroit now, they've got Dylan Larkin, Lucas Raymond, Patrick Kane. I think Patrick Kane has to drop to like 86. Same thing with Lucas Raymond, has to drop to like 86. And then Maurice Seider. Vladimir Tarasenko was not an 87 overall. He's like an 83 overall. That's ridiculous. JT Compher, probably like 83 as well. The rest of the guys seem okay, though. But, oh my gosh, Vladimir Tarasenko, that is a criminal overrating. An absolute criminal overrating. Marco Kasper, get this guy up there to like 78 overall or something. Goalies now of Cam Talbot and Alex Lyon. When these guys are playing well, they can have some really good games. So I think 84 and 83 is pretty fair. That's like your kind of base starter overall. Now, Edmonton, of course, McDavid, Draisaitl, Bouchard, Hyman. I better not see Darnell Nurse up here anytime soon. Hyman at 89. I mean, just for me, Hyman is just that guy who he just shovels the puck in the net, you know? He's a backboard. So 89 is a bit high. 87 for Nugent Hopkins is criminally high. I would put him at like 85. I know he scored 100 points, but come on. He's on the line with Connor McDavid. And same thing with Jeff Skinner. 86 overall is ridiculous. That is so high. Arvidsson at 84 seems a little bit high as well, probably like 83. But other than that, they seem okay. Darnell Nurse was at 85, right? He was at 85, I think. 85. See, I want to say that's too high, but he's making 9 mil, maybe like 84. Goaltending, Stuart Skinner. I don't trust Stuart Skinner as far as I can throw him, and this guy is 230 pounds, 6'4", so I'd put him at 83 overall. 86 seems way too high for somebody who's so inconsistent. Then we have Florida. These guys are struggling a little bit right now, but they will find their groove. These overall seem pretty good. Ekblad, I'd probably drop to like 85. Verhaeghe probably dropped to 85 as well. Forsling would probably drop to like 80, 85-ish as well. And then the rest of the team looks okay, I get. Yeah, I mean, they look all right. You can maybe drop a few guys here or there, a couple of overall points. Mackie Samoskevich, right? That's his name? Mackie Samoskevich. If you wanted to put him in the NHL, you can throw him up to like 78 overall. Bobrovsky at 90. He just won a Stanley Cup, so give the guy the 90. Sure, we'll take it. Going to LA now, Kopitar and Doughty. Kempe, Fiala, Dano. Quinton Byfield is not an 86 overall, so I'll drop him to like 84. Trevor Moore at 85 seems a little bit high, but I don't watch the Kings too much, which is why I'm not really commenting on them that much. I feel like Brand Clark is having a pretty decent year. Now, granted, he is on the playing power play time for them, of course, so he's getting some free points, but, you know, hey, every point counts, right? Every point counts. Darcy Kemper. Darcy Kemper is better than Alex Georgiev. Come on, EA. Give him like 83, 84 overall at the bare minimum. That is ridiculous. That guy's a former Stanley Cup winner, man. You gotta give him something. Over here in Minnesota, Kirill Kaprizov, and then Jonas Brodin is the next best player on this team. Wild fans, how do we feel about that? Jared Spurgeon, Brock Faber, Matt Boldy, Matt Zuccarello, Joel Eriksson Ek, right? I mean, these guys seem pretty decently rated. I don't know if Brodin is the next best player on the team, but other than that, they seem pretty good. Wild fans, let me know how you guys feel about that. That's wild. No pun intended. Marc-Andre Fleury and Philip Gustafsson as the goaltenders, both has 84 overall. That seems right. They have a 1A, 1B situation in Fleury's last year in the NHL. Let's hope that it's a good one. Maybe they can squeak out a decent playoff run for the guy. In Montreal now, we've got Nick Suzuki, Cole Caulfield. Mike Matheson seems quite high, to be honest. Kirby Dach at 85, Yaroslav Slavkovsky at 85, Patrick Laine at 85. That seems just about right. Maybe Slavkovsky down to like 83. Caden Gooley at 84 seems pretty good. New Hook, that seems fine. Lane Hutton at 82. Maybe put him up there to like 84 or so. He's playing a lot of time. I at the start of the year, I think he was really good. Now I think he's fallen off a little bit, as most rookies do throughout the middle part of the season. But other than that, Montreal is looking at pretty solid. Goalies, they have Samuel Montembeault, Caden Primo, and of course Carey Price. Overall seem pretty good in Montreal. I like it. Other than Matheson, just drop him a few. Now over to Nashville, and boy has this experiment failed. Roman Josi, the best player, then Steven Stamkos and Philip Forsberg. Maybe drop Stamkos a couple of overall, 2 overall or so. Jonathan Marchessault, maybe drop him a few overall, just because they're not playing too strong at the moment, that's for sure. And this experiment has definitely failed. They've dumped so much money into free agency. And I thought at the start of the year, they're either going to be a contender and go on to win the Stanley Cup, or they're going to be a big disappointment. And they have been the latter here early in the season. Tommy Novak at 84 somehow. Don't ask me. Dante Fabro at 83 somehow, even though he's not even on the team, got dropped through waivers. Yeah, this is these overall seem pretty inflated, in my opinion. What do we think for Jussi Saros? I would say 88-ish overall. What is he, 89? Okay, yeah, that seems pretty fair. And then Scott Wedgwood, of course, is actually on the Colorado Avalanche now, but they made a trade. Oh, so that's where, I guess, Onanen went to the Preds, huh? That makes sense, I guess. All right, over here in New Jersey, we've got Jack Hughes, Jesper Bratt, Nico Hischier. This seems just about right. Dougie Hamilton and Brett Pesce at 88. That seems pretty high, although maybe I'm not familiar with his game. Timo Meier at 87 seems a little bit high. Luke Hughes at 86. Is Luke Hughes a better defenseman than Jonas Siegenthaler? Maybe, but they play very different roles. Dawson Mercer, Simon Nemec, Brendan Dillon. Yeah, Dillon's a very steady guy. Stefan Nolson, what an isn't he like scoring? I need to look this up. Isn't he scoring goals left, right, and center, or he was at the start of the year at least? Let me take a look. Yeah, this guy has 13 goals in 33 games. His career high previously was 14 goals in 81 games, and he's only 1 goal behind, played like 50 less games. This is crazy. Give this guy a couple of extra overall here, at least for how he's playing right now. But yes, these overalls look pretty good. Goaltending wise, Markstrom at 87, that's pretty high, and Jake Allen at 83. They do have some good goaltending though, and it seems like they are a threat, maybe a wild card threat, like an X Factor type threat. I don't mean that they're going to be in the wild card spot. I used the wrong choice of word. I just mean they can explode for offense at any moment. This is a team that needs help, and they got struck with a couple of injuries to Barzell. Of course, I think Dobson went out with an injury for a little bit as well. Adam Pelech, Bo Horvat, Ryan Pulock, Brock Nelson, Anthony Duclair, Romanov, Anders Lee. Yeah, their overall seem pretty good. They just don't really have much on this team other than Barzell and Dobson, of course. I would love to see Matt Barzell on a team that really strives for offense. But unfortunately, we're not going to get that anytime soon, I don't think. Sorokin at a 90, Varlamov at an 85. All seems good there. Now to the New York Rangers, who are struggling mightily here. There are, tremors of trade rumors here. And we have Panarin as a 95, Adam Fox as a 92, then Zibanejad as an 89. Rangers fans, how do you feel about that one? That seems high to me. Trocheck as an 87, Kreider as an 87. That seems high to me as well. But these other guys seem okay, I guess. You just after those top couple of guys just don't have that much. And when the production from Kreider and Zibanejad falls off, this team really suffers. Also, of course, forgot to mention that Jacob Trouba, no longer on the team, is now in Anaheim, so I have to make that change for the franchise mode. Then we have Igor Shesterkin as a 92 overall. Yeah, he's the best goalie in the league. He got his crazy $11.5 million deal per season. And now we go to the Ottawa Senators, where Brady Tkachuk is not the best player on the team. Tim Stützle is. If you guys don't know, my number one team is the Sens, so let me just tell you right now, I think Tim Stützle is better than Brady Tkachuk. Come at me if you want. That's just my opinion. Everybody can have their own. And for me, I think Timmy produces way more than Brady does, in my opinion. So I would put Brady as like an 87 overall, and I would keep Stützle at an 88. Claude Giroux, I'd probably drop an overall or two down to like 85. I think Sanderson is slightly better than Shabbat, so although it's close, they are pretty close, so this is okay, I guess. And Sanderson is younger, so he will grow throughout the season anyways. Josh Norris, he's not a two-way forward. I would move him to a sniper. Drake Batherson, I'd move to a playmaker. And I think Batherson is slightly better than Norris. I'd put Batherson like 86, Norris at 84. Artem Zub at 84 seems okay. We just need him to be healthy. David Perron seems way too high at 84. I'd put him like 82. Shane Pinto is struggling a lot, so I'd drop him to like 81 maybe. Ridley Gregg is okay, so we can leave him at 82 for now. JBD, he just looks so unsure with the puck. I'm putting him to 78. Nick Jensen at 81 seems whatever. Noah Gregor at 80 seems fine. Amadio at 80, that seems fine as well. All these guys, yeah, these guys are totally fine. Although Tyler Klevin, I'd probably bump him up to like 78, 79 overall. He's an NHL level player. Same thing with Zach Ostapchuk. I'll put him up to like 78 overall or so. He's playing in the NHL right now. In the net, Allmark has been playing great recently, which is nice to see because he struggled out of the gate, as most goalies do who come to Ottawa, because we don't have a good defensive structure. So Allmark, I'm loving what he's been putting up recently, 89. I mean, definitely carried by his Boston years for sure, but I'll take it. So we go to Philadelphia now, where they do not have too much top-end talent. Their overall seem okay. Sanheim maybe a little bit high, but he was pretty good at the start of the year. He potted a couple of goals there for any fantasy guys who look at fantasy a lot. Michkov at 82. Man, this guy got benched, and then he came back and scored two points instantly, huh? And he showed torts to his boss. I love that. Goalies, yeah, I mean, it seems fine. They don't really have a lot. like a lot of super high-end talent. So these overalls seem pretty fine for Philadelphia. Going to Pittsburgh now, give this man some help. Sidney Crosby signed another $8.7 million deal. Evgeny Malkin, that seems pretty high for Malkin at this point in his career. Same thing with Erik Karlsson, who seems to kind of have fallen off here after his one run in San Jose. San Jose did a good job of flipping him for, I mean, they didn't really get that much, I think, but I mean, they got his salary off the books, at least most of it, so they'll take that. And then same thing with Letang. These three guys, I think you dropped them all 2 overall. And I know the Pittsburgh fans may be coming at me, but they're just not the same players that they used to be. Crosby is still fantastic. Crosby could still be 96, and I wouldn't be complaining. But Malkin, Karlsson, and Letang, I've seen a considerable drop-off, and because of that, Crosby's numbers are suffering a little bit, as are, his team numbers, of course, where they are fighting for that wild card spot desperately with teams like Ottawa and, those other guys down there in the Eastern wild card spot number 2. The other lines, though, they seem pretty okay for the most part. Everything seems all right. Goaltenders, Nedeljkovic at 83, Blomqvist at 80, and I guess Tristan Jarry's in the AHL, but you can bring him back up now because he's been playing pretty okay. After coming back up to the team after his little AHL conditioning stint, he's been pretty decent. San Jose, now we have Tyler Toffoli as the best player on the team. I would probably give it to Michael Granlund. He's been producing a little bit more for them more consistently, so I'd maybe switch these 2 guys around. Logan Couture, of course, we can keep him at 85 for now, but who knows if he's going to play again this year. Liljegren at 84. I didn't even know that he was on the Sharks. That's how much of an impact he makes on me. William Eklund at 83. Macklin Celebrini at 82. Zetterlund. Yeah, these numbers seem okay. Again, this is a team that's really, just finding their footing. Start of a rebuild. We don't expect too much from them. And then in goal, they would have, instead of Mackenzie Blackwood, it would be Alexander Georgiev. So there you go. And Georgiev is going to be like an 82 overall or something like that when I do the lines. Looking at Seattle, they've got Brendan Montour and Vince Dunn, so 2 strong defensemen. Maybe a little bit high, but probably only like 1 overall. Probably the same caliber as like a Jared McCann. And then they've got Bjorkstrand. Wow, Eli Tolvanen at 85 overall. This guy's really reached his, he was a franchise mode legend for a lot of people back in like NHL 22-23 era. That it was always nice if you could pick up Eli Tolvanen in free agency or something like that. But the rest of the team, they look okay. Will Borgen, Jimmy Alexiak, Brendan Tanev, yeah, everything seems all right. Shane Wright, 79 overall. We want to see some production from him. And then in goal, they've got Joey Decord and Philip Grubauer. I like that they have Decord as the better of the 2 goalies because I do think that is true. So Seattle, good job. Now we've got St. Louis, where Robert Thomas and Jordan Kyrou lead the charge. Then it's Colton Parayko and Pavel Buchnevich. I think that's totally right. Justin Falk and Torrey Krug seem a little bit high to me, but I don't watch too many St. Louis games, so let me know if I'm totally wrong about that. Matthew Joseph, Jake Neighbors, the rest of the crew here. Pierre-Olivier Joseph at 83 overall seems criminally high. After what I watched in Pittsburgh, because I'm on the East, so it's a lot easier for me to watch East Coast games, 83 overall seems so high to me. But I haven't really watched him that much in St. Louis, so maybe he's really improved. Although at 25 years old, it seems a little bit unlikely. I'd probably drop him to like 81 overall. The rest of the guys, though, they look okay. And then goalies, Jordan Binnington at 86. Sure, seems fine. Moving on, this is a team that I thought was really going to struggle from the absence of Steven Stamkos, especially on the power play. And, they've found a way to keep winning games, so congrats to them. Kucherov at 95, sure. Victor Hedman at 92, Point at 92, Gensel at 90. Yeah, these 4 guys are monsters right here. And Point, Gensel, and Kucherov line, man, they are a solid line. Brendan Hagel at 87, a little bit high probably, but maybe drop him to 85 and everything is looking okay. Nick Paul at 84 seems a bit high as well to me, because I think Chiarelli's a little bit better than Nick Paul in my personal opinion, but hey, whatever. But other than that, yeah. These guys look good, and they are always a threat in the EA world as they are in real life. Vasilevsky at 92, so he's the same overall as Igor Shesterkin. I was interested to see if that was going to remain true. And EA says they are the same overall. I think Shesterkin's the best goalie in the league right now. But, if you want to argue Vasilevsky, I'm not going to argue against it. Vas is amazing, of course. Now we get to Toronto, where Matthews, Marner, Nylander, Riley, I think Tavares is too high. I'd probably drop him to like 84 overall. I think Domi is too high. I'd probably drop him to like 83. Matthew Knies at 84 seems fine. Ekman Larsson at 84 seems all right. Tanev, I'd probably bump him up to like 86, give him his flowers. He's definitely on the same caliber, if not a little bit better than a guy like Esa Lindell, who's 86 overall, so I'd give him a little bit more room to grow. Jake McCabe at 83 seems fine. David Kampf, maybe down to like 81. Again, Pacioretty is playing really strong on this team. Maybe it's because he's on a line with like Nylander and Tavares, and so he gets a bit of extra production from a guy like Nylander, but still, he's been playing very good, so maybe up to 83. Nick Robertson probably dropped to like 80. He struggled a little bit this year, so that's unfortunate to see. But yeah, Toronto, they look okay. A few minor changes. Big one is just John Tavares. And then in goal, they've got Joseph Woll and Anthony Stolarz. I think Stolarz is a little bit of a better goalie than Woll, so I'd probably go to like 84 for Stolarz, and you can keep Woll at 83. But Stolarz has had really, really strong games. Here we've got the newest NHL franchise, the Utah Hockey Club. So we've got Clayton Keller, Mikhail Sergachev, a bit high for Mikhail Sergachev in my opinion. I'd probably get to go 86. Nick Schmaltz 86 seems fine. Logan Cooley, Matthias Michelli, Lawson Krause. Yeah, the rest of these guys seem pretty decent. Valimaki at 82, okay, sure, yeah. I mean, yeah, the rest of the team seems decent overall wise, but the one change I would make here is just drop Sergachev a little bit, just because he's not on that caliber of like a Dougie Hamilton or he's more in the lines of like a Thomas Chabot, Jake Sanderson type player, in my opinion, than he is of like Dougie Hamilton or any of these other more offensive producing defensemen. Looking at the goalies, Connor Ingram at 85. That seems high to me, just off the eye test. I don't actually know much about his stats, but a 906 save percentage, a 907 save percentage last year, and the year before that. I don't really know what he's done to earn an 85 overall. Maybe he's been great for them, and they give up a lot of chances, so that's why maybe. Going to Vancouver now, of course, Quinn Hughes just won the Norris, so 94 is all but fair. JT Miller, a great player at 92. Elias Pettersson has been struggling this year. Maybe he's turning it around a little bit more recently, but 91 overall seems a bit high in his current state. 87 for Hronek seems pretty high. Garland at 85, okay. Jake DeBrusk at 84 seems really high, though. Wasn't he just like an 83 in Boston last year? And now he moves to Vancouver and he's an 85? EA, I'm on to you. The Vancouver bias is coming out strong. Look at all these 83s, bro. Daniel Sprong's an 84? Are you kidding me? That seems... I mean, he's like an 82 overall type player, I think, not an 84. Danton Heinen at 82, Pius Suter at 82, Eric Brandstrom at 81. I swear last year with Ottawa, he was like a 79 overall at the start of the year, so... I don't know, EA. I don't know. And then Thatcher Demko, 91. Yeah, he's one of the best goalies in the league. No complaints from me there. Next up, we've got Vegas and Jack Eichel here. Definitely the best player on the team. Pietrangelo is here. I think Shea Theodore is better than Pietrangelo, so I'd switch their overalls. Mark Stone, I do not think is an 89 overall. He's an incredible player, but 89, you're getting to the elites of the elites, so I would go like 87 overall. Thomas Hertl at 86, okay. Carlson at 86 seems a bit high. Hanifin at 86 seems exactly right, though. Barbashev 84, yep. All these other guys, yeah, these other guys seem pretty good. Holtz at 82 seems a little bit high, considering he hasn't really done anything in his NHL career. Strong prospect when he was with New Jersey, drafted very high, but he didn't really turn into much for them, so 82 seems pretty high to me. But the rest of the team looks good. And then in goal, they've got Adin Hill and Ilya Samsonov. Makes sense to me. 86 for Adin Hill. Maybe a bit high, but 85, 84 overall seems right. Then we have probably the most surprising team for me this year. The Washington Capitals have somehow, and I don't know how, but somehow they are like the second or third best team in the entire league this year. Let me just take a quick look at it, because I was looking at the standings the other day and I was like, what the heck is going on here? This is wild. Yeah, the Washington Capitals are the second best team in the league with 2 games in hand over the Winnipeg Jets. So even without Ovechkin, they have been managing to win games, which is a astronomical feat. But I'm bumping Ovi up to like 91. He is still scoring at a crazy pace. It really sucks that he got injured, or else I think he would have broken it this year. All the numbers say he would have broke it, so... Man, it really sucks that he got injured. Dylan Strome has been a great Nicholas Backstrom 2.0 for Ovi. Jacob Chikrin has been strong, I think. Tom Wilson's been all right. Yeah, I mean, I can't change these lines, these numbers down, can I? I mean, Pierre-Luc Dubois, maybe he even goes up after how he's been playing with them. I know these are going to be last year's numbers, of course, but I feel like if they're winning games, Dubois must be stepping up a little bit at least. I'll admit I haven't watched many of these games. I think Connor McMichael has been tearing it up though, so maybe give him like 84, 85 overall. And yeah, this team is surprisingly good, are the Washington Capitals. So any Caps fans out there, you're loving it, aren't you? You think it's like 2019 again, right? Or 2018. It was 2018, right? Yeah, it was 2018. Logan Thompson at 84, Charlie Lindgren at 84. Bump both of these guys up to 85. Why the heck not? They are playing incredible hockey right now. And then last but not least, of course, the 2024 franchise mode legends here, the Winnipeg Jets. If you don't know, go watch that franchise mode. We did like 10 or 15 years of a Winnipeg Jets franchise mode. It was crazy. There are Stanley Cups, there are great storylines, there are heartbreaks, there are victories, everything in between, and we always use all your comments, so stay tuned for our franchise mode this year. We have Kyle Connor, Mark Scheifele, Josh Morrissey, Nikolai Ehlers. That's the big four for these guys. And then even Gabe Vilardi. This first line of Kyle Connor, Mark Scheifele, and Gabe Vilardi has been dynamite this year, and I love to see it. Then we've got Ehlers, Pion, Cole Perfetti at 85 seems pretty high. He hasn't been producing that well, especially when Ehlers got injured. Dylan DeMello at 84, okay. Adam Lowry at 84, sure. Alex Iafallo, Colin Miller, Vladislav Nemestikov. Yeah, these other guys seem pretty all right. Nothing too crazy to change there. And then Hellebuck, he's probably like the second best goalie in the league, maybe the third or fourth, so he's 90 to 91 overall. He has to be 93 overall. They have Hellebuck as the best goalie in the league. Wow. I personally think it's Shesterkin, but there is definitely an argument for Connor Hellebuck. This guy seems to win the Vezina quite frequently, so we will see how he performs this year in front of an amazing Winnipeg team. But that's what EA ranks the systems as. Give you a little bit of insight into how I think each team is doing and sort of where I would place their overalls, really vaguely, of course. And I'm sure there are many things that I said that are incorrect in this video. I don't have time to watch every single game every team plays. I can't dissect everything, but I do my best to stay up to date with the hockey as much as I can. And we always do franchise mode on this channel, so if you enjoy franchise mode, stay tuned. It's going to be coming out soon. I just got to edit the first video and make sure that, we have a compelling story and stuff, and I got to pick a right team. And if you have thoughts on who you want me to pick, you can leave those comments down below, and let me know who your favorite team is and what you think EA did with the overall. Did they get the overalls right? Did they get them wrong? What would you change on your favorite teams, overall list? So let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Peace out.